man is back.
Oh, my gosh, the man got messed up.
This is a 5 out of freaking 5.
It is beat making time.
Next week is E3 week. My album comes out next week.
I have the Lebron James.
This is your boy.
Alright, ladies and gentlemen of the YouTube citizens, y'all know who this is. This is your boy Dash, the True Inferno. Back at it with another Call of Duty Modern Warfare commentary video for you guys. And yeah, we gotta talk. So, the NBA Finals just concluded this past Sunday, so you know we gotta talk about it. And there's a lot of stuff to talk about with that, and you know, within the world, like for example, Microsoft and Best Buy, they apparently got a deal going on and things of that nature. But we got to talk about the NBA Finals. So here's the deal. So the Los Angeles Lakers defeated the Miami Heat to win their franchise 17th championship. So they defeated the Heat in a best of 6. You know, 4-2 was the total right there, you know, in terms of the amount of games won. You need a 4 to win the championship once you make the finals. So yeah, if you're a sports fan, you should know this. Now, here's the deal. I'm going to say this, because not a lot of people really think about this, but I'm going to put it out there. And actually, I'm going to do some research while I'm saying this part. So with this victory, the Los Angeles Lakers have the same amount of NBA championships as the Boston Celtics. Despite that, however, I'm still going to say the Los Angeles Lakers is the best franchise in the NBA. Because the majority of their championship happened in the modern era. So, you know, this is more when the three-pointer was existing and they was winning championship in multiple eras, you know, like the Showtime Lakers. You know, you got Shaq and Kobe, and you got the Kobe when he ran the team, basically. And now the LeBron era in LA, that is. So that's going on right there. Now, I would also say this. The Los Angeles Lakers, I'm going to throw this out there. The Los Angeles Lakers are the best sports franchise ever. It's between them and the New York Yankees. And, you know, the Yankees, they won a lot of World Series. You know, the last one they won was 11 years ago. It was in 2009, but you get the point. So the Yankees won 4, 8, 12, 16. That's 20, 24, 26. I mean, so you know they got a lot more World Series. So you could go for either or, the Yankees or the Lakers, in terms of the best sports franchise ever. You know, you can't go wrong with either squad. But in terms of the NBA, I'm going with the Lakers over the Celtics in terms of the best franchise ever. So even though again they both got the same amount of championships, but the Lakers won it in the modern era. You know, when the three-pointer existed. They won it in different eras. And more importantly, they have more superstars. They have more well-known superstars throughout franchise history. You know, like Shaq, Kobe, obviously. They got LeBron now. You know, they got Kareem, Magic Johnson. I believe Jerry West. Yeah, so, I mean, there's a lot. You know, there's even an argument in terms of the Mount Rushmore in terms of the Laker franchise. We'll get more of that Lakers later, rather. And Boston, they have Larry Bird. You know, they have Paul Pierce. And, you know, there's a few others like Kevin McHale and a few others like Robert Parrish. But, I mean, if you look at both franchises and their superstars, their all-time superstars, come on now, it's the Lakers, like, without question. It's the Lakers. So, which brings me to this, the Mount Rushmore for the Lakers. So here's the thing about that one, because people like to go way out there with this one. So when we mean by the Mount Rushmore, it means like the top 4 greatest Lakers of all time. So without question, Magic Johnson got to be on the list. Without question, Magic got to be up there. So he got to be up there. Kobe got to be out there. Without question, Kobe got to be on there. And then here's where things going to get very interesting. So you can make a case. I'm gonna put, and it's tough because now you got to look at the likes of Will. You got to look at the. I mean, actually, before I say who got to go up there, Magic's up there. That's a lock, without question. Magic's a lock, without question. So Magic going to be up there. You got Will. You got Shaquille O'Neal. You got Jerry West. You got Kareem. You got Kobe. And people want to put LeBron up there. So here's the thing about that. So, and then we're going to talk about this as well. My top 10 greatest players of all time, in my opinion. So, Magic, going into this year, was my number 2. And even after this championship, he's still my number 2. So, Magic, obviously, to me, is the greatest Laker of all time. Without question, the greatest Laker of all time. So, you got Magic up there. And then you got Kareem up there. Wilt could potentially be up there. But the thing about Wilt is, remember, says correctly, one of them two, either Wilt or Kareem, one of those two, they started at another team, and then they got traded or they made a raid to LA. So looking at this, it was actually both of them. So Wilt started off, I mean, if you want to count this, as a Harlem Globetrotter. But if we're looking at like the NBA, things of that nature, he started off in Philly. He was drafted by Philly. And then obviously, you know, they became the San Francisco Warriors that same year, you know, within that his time frame with that franchise. And then he was traded to the 76ers. And then he ended his career with the Lakers. Kareem, on the other hand, he was selected or drafted by the Milwaukee Bucks. And then he was sent to the Lakers. So I can easily make a case for Wilt and Kareem to not be up there because they didn't pretty much play the entire year with the Lakers. But at the same time, it's all about like how much of an impact have you done with the Lakers. So that's another thing right there. That's another thing to consider as well. And I want to say Kareem, because Kareem spent more time with the Lakers than Wilt did. So Wilt, he'd been a Laker for like what? 5 seasons? Yeah, for 5 seasons, whereas Kareem been a Laker for 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 seasons. And within those 13 seasons, he won 5 championships with the Lakers. In fact, yeah, almost all his championships came with the Lakers. Only one came with Milwaukee. Whereas Wilt, on the other hand, he only brought 1 championship rather to the Lakers. So I can make more of a case for Kareem than Wilt in terms of the all-time greatest Laker, in terms of the Mount Rushmore. So Magic would be up there without question. Kobe got to be up there because he pretty much spent his entire career as a Laker. So now we got to look at Jerry West because that's the logo. That's the logo. But despite the fact he played for 14 years, he only brought in 1 championship because he had to deal with Bill Russell and the Boston Celtics. So you can or cannot make a case for Kareem. I mean, not Kareem, for Jerry West. So, and then you look at LeBron. And here's the thing about LeBron. LeBron, he spent 2 years with the Lakers. The first year he got injured, and the team wasn't really up there to the point where they would be title contenders. I thought they were playoff contenders before he got hurt. Him and Lamar, or whatever the oldest ball son name is. I forgot his name. So before they both got injured, they were the 4th seed. And they could have made some noise in the playoffs, but they was not going to win the championship that year. This year, obviously, he brought a championship, 1 to that squad. So if I were to look at the Mount Rushmore for the Lakers, Magic, obviously, would be number 1. Kobe would be number 2. Kareem would be number 3. And I have to go with Shaq. Shaq would be my number 4 because he brought in 3. So obviously, he started in Orlando. He won the championship in Miami. He played for other different teams, but he's mostly known for being in LA. And he brought 3 championships. So if LeBron brings 2 more, he will somehow within the next, I don't know, assuming he retires a Laker, I don't know. But if he brings in 2 more and ties Shaq, then I would put him ahead of Shaq because, talent-wise, he's a better player than Shaq. But at this point in time, I can't put him ahead of Shaq. So my 4, Mount Rushmore would be Magic, Kobe, Kareem, and then Shaq. And LeBron would be number 5. So he's the 5th greatest Laker of all time, if you want to go that route. Now, in terms of the greatest of all time, going into the year, believe it or not, I had LeBron at number 10. Now I have him at number 4. So who's ahead of him? Jordan, without question. Magic, and Larry Bird. So I still have Larry Bird as the greatest small forward of all time. Now, If LeBron wins another one, just one, if he wins one more championship, then I will, without question, have him as the all-time second best basketball player or NBA player of all time. Yeah, you gotta say NBA player. The college, he didn't go to college, and we all know who the best college basketball player of all time. That was Kareem, without question. So, here's the theory why I can't, like, this whole LeBron's better than Jordan thing is stupid. Like, it makes no sense to me how people can ignore Jordan going to the finals 6 times, winning all 6 of them, and never relying on a game 7. He finished his opponents off in less than 7 games. No one else ever done that. How you ignore that? And LeBron been to the finals. This is his 10th trip to the finals, if I remember says it correctly. He's currently 4-6. He won 4 and lost 6. You can't ignore that. You can't ignore that. You know, another thing you can't ignore, you know, like I said, LeBron, he became the second player ever to win 4 finals MVPs. Guess who won them? Guess who else won it? Guess who won it before him? Jordan. And by the way, Jordan had 6 of them. LeBron had 4. Oh, here's another thing you can't ignore. LeBron, yeah, he been in the league for 17 years, for 17 seasons, and yet he only won 4. Jordan been in the league less than that, and he won 6. Keep that in mind as well. Another thing you got to keep in mind, oh, and this is the big one right here in my opinion. Well, another big one rather. And that is this. If you were one of the people who said the playoff format should have changed from 8 from the East, 8 from the West to the top 16 teams from the league making the playoffs, then, and yet you want to say LeBron better than Jordan, you're a hypocrite. You can't have it both ways. Why am I saying that? Because when LeBron was with the Cavs, with the Heat, the East was garbage. That's when people were saying, yo, we should just have the top 16 teams get in. Because the East was garbage and the West was straight up better. That was never the case with Jordan. Because the competition in the East was much better than the competition LeBron had to deal with. So, I mean, let's be real. Let's be real. Jordan had to deal with the bad boy Pistons, the Larry Bird Celtics. He had to deal with the Indiana Pacers with Reggie Miller and Mark Jackson, the Orlando Magic with Shaquille O'Neal and Penny Hardaway, and the New York Knicks with Patrick Ewing and John Starks. And there's like 2 other teams I can name, but I'm not going to do that because none of those teams, for the most part, were not title contenders. So you take those teams. So again, the Bad Boy Pistons, the Larry Bird Celtics, the Shaq and Penny Magic, the Patrick Ewing Knicks, and the Reggie Miller Indiana Pacers squad. You take those 5 teams that Jordan had to deal with in the East. And you mean to tell me that the Dwight Howard Orlando Magic were better than that team? No. You're going to tell me that, who else was there? The Derrick Rose Chicago Bulls squad was better than any of those teams? No. You're going to tell me that the Paul George Indiana Pacers squad was better than any of those teams? No. You're going to tell me that the old version, it's not even the big 3. That the Paul Pierce and Kevin Garnett Boston Celtics squad was better than any of those teams? No, they were not. They were not. And even the Paul Pierce, Kevin Garnett, and the Ray Allen version, because that's the version LeBron couldn't beat. He had to get Ray Allen in order to beat them, by the way. I just want to put it out there. Do you mean to tell me that squad is better than any of those squads, even though they won a championship? No, they're not. No, they're not. And if you want to compare that championship squad to any of the championship squads that Jordan had to deal with, like, for example, the Larry Bird Celtics, the big 3 Celtics were not better than the Larry Bird Celtics. And for damn sure, the big 3 Boston Celtics squads were not better than the Bad Boy Pistons. No, that was not the case. Now, yeah, that was not the case. The East during that time frame was garbage. It was really, really garbage. And that's another argument against LeBron. And again, you got, the multiple regular season MVPs, the fact that Jordan was a better defender. You can't ignore defense, people. You can't ignore defense. Jordan was a better defender because he won Defensive Player of the Year. At least, I don't know how many times he's done it. I want to say 4 times. He won it at least once. LeBron never won that. LeBron never got that. Jordan been an all-NBA defender 9 times, and LeBron only made that list 4 times. I mean, come on, man. You can't ignore the accomplishments. You can't ignore the achievements. You can't ignore the competition that both guys face. You can't ignore what the end result, which is how do they do in the NBA Finals. Again, Jordan is 6 out of 6, while LeBron is 4 out of 10. That's including this year. That's not a winning record. That's not a winning record. So this whole LeBron is better than Jordan argument is dumb. It's a waste of time. It's pretty much a wrap. Unless LeBron wins the next 6 NBA finals, because we don't know how long LeBron gonna keep going. If LeBron somehow wins 6 NBA championships, put him at 10-5, then yeah, we can say, okay, he's in the conversation. Not he better than Jordan, but he's in the conversation. Because now we have to see, okay, how did he perform? Did his defense improve? How many regular season MVPs did he get? How many finals MVPs did he get? He probably go get them all if he do win 6 more. But what's the competition like? Well, he's in the West now. The competition is much better. And it's going to get better next year because, Golden State going to be back. The Pelicans going to be better. The Mavericks going to be better. Yeah, Houston going to take a step back. And then, Portland, they're going to get healthy again. So, and Denver's out there. Utah's out there. The Clippers going to be out there. They might take a step back because they lost Doc Rivers. Yeah, the West is stacked against LeBron. But despite that, if he somehow make it out the West and win like 6 more NBA championships with the Lakers, yeah, he would be the greatest Laker of all time. He would definitely be the greatest Laker of all time. And then we can put him in the conversation of whether or not he'd be better than Jordan. But as of right now, the conversation rather is pretty much closed. It's a done deal. It's a wrap. And nobody should not be talking about it anymore. So I'm going to call it a wrap. And with all that said, y'all know who this is. This is boy New J Gatsby, a.k.a. New Stupid Smith, saying peace out, y'all. And I'll see y'all next time. Yeah.